Now on CTV News at 5. The Canada Strong Pass has returned and Waterton Lakes is hoping it brings a boost during slow season. Plus, it's been a deadly flu season and cases continue to skyrocket, with the latest data showing the highest numbers in years. And Santa is on his way. We'll check in with NORAD to see where St. Nick is.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jacqueline Wilson.
Hello and thank you for joining us on this Christmas Eve. As many enjoy the festive season, the federal government has brought back its Canada Strong Pass for the holidays. While the winter months can be quiet for destinations like Waterton Lake National Park, businesses are hoping the free admission will lure in visitors during the off-season. Carson Marsouk reports.
It's the off-season in Waterton Lakes National Park, but businesses say the summer destination is busier than usual.
It's so beautiful and so pretty down there right now, and you get the park to yourself, and there's quite a bit open. There's 4 hotels that are open now, 2 restaurants. It's actually 3 restaurants, sorry. There'll be a gift shop open for the winter.
And more businesses are staying open as the federal government has relaunched its Canada Strong Pass for the holiday season. From December 12th to January 15th, Canadians can take advantage of free admission into national parks, discounts on overnight stays with Parks Canada, and free entry into museums.
The forecast looks good coming up. So there's been quite a bump for the next sort of 2 weeks, especially through the holiday season. We're feeling it, and we're hoping it's going to continue on and keep Waterton busy.
The national park will enter 2026 coming off one of its busiest years on record. While no final numbers have been released, Parks Canada says there's been an 11% increase compared to last summer. And 2024 marked the second busiest year for Waterton Lakes, with more than 540,000 visitors passing through the gates.
In the evenings, early mornings, that's when we felt that normal feel for Waterton, not that craziness. It was a lot of day traffic, but a lot of Canadians. I've never seen so many Canadians enjoying Waterton Park and exploring it and seeing it for the very first time, which is amazing.
In October, the number of Canadian resident return trips from the U.S. was down more than 26% year over year.
Travel is changing a lot, right? We've seen that a lot this year with people maybe not venturing as far. Again, because of some of the uncertainty in the market, people do look for things a little closer to home. We know that, leisure travel has been really effective for us this year.
During the shorter season, Parks Canada is undergoing a visitor use management review, looking at ways to manage the increase in tourists during the busy season.
There's a lot to look forward to for us, so we're really excited about the coming summer.
Carson Marsouk, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Canada Strong Pass will also return this summer, offering opportunities to discover what the country has to offer. The number of MLAs facing recalls continues to grow. Alberta's Chief Electoral Officer approved 3 more petition applications on Tuesday. MLAs Peggy Wright, Justin Wright, and Ron Wiebe, they are all now facing recall. That brings the total number of approved petitions to 26. 2 are for NDP MLAs. The rest are UCP, and that does include the Premier. Alberta's Chief Electoral Officer says verifying each petition costs over $300,000. All right, let's check in on the Christmas Eve forecast with Jody. Now, you were mentioning a little bit of frozen ice, was it, or rain, Jody? That can't be good with travelers right now.
It is not ideal. We've had some less than ideal traveling conditions across central and southern Alberta, and now we're sitting with a yellow level freezing rain warning into the southeast corner of our province, and then a yellow level snowfall warning into the central region. Locally, our temperatures will be about -15 overnight with that 60% chance of a mixed precipitation, and then we'll have wind chill values around -24, but then by tomorrow we're up to +1. So the temperature doing a bit of a reversal and starting to rise throughout the day until we hit those positive values, and then we're back into another roller coaster for the next few days.
Okay, thanks so much, Jody. Well, this year's Christmas Hope campaign is wrapping up today. 7 organizations in the city are helping 9,000 people in need this Christmas. Lethbridge Family Services Angel Tree campaign also supported 3,300 children this year. As the campaign comes to a close, those involved say the community has once again stepped up.
We saw an astounding amount of support this year. There was, individual donations, folks coming in with amazing stories, whether it was, former recipients of Angel Tree in some cases choosing to sort of pay it forward and support us. A lot of kids coming in, spending their allowance money to buy toys, and then huge sponsors as well, and business donors.
Those final numbers will be shared in the new year. The Interfaith Food Bank is thanking the community for the support over the past year. The organization says it was able to distribute more than 11,000 hampers in 2025. Interfaith is thanking the community for the consistent support as it worked to meet food insecurity needs in the community. The food bank is now closed until January 5th with emergency hampers available at Streets Alive Mission. The Lethbridge Senior Citizen Organization is getting ready to serve more than 1,000 Christmas dinners tomorrow. For the 56th year, the LSCO will open on Christmas Day to provide a free turkey dinner to those in need in the community. While it costs about $12,000 to put on the dinner, the LSCO says being a space for people to gather, connect, and to celebrate over the holidays, it is worth it.
Anybody in the community who maybe can't afford a meal for themselves and their families, or maybe they don't have families who they can share a meal with. So we're not checking income at the door or any need. Anybody who feels the need for a little extra Christmas spirit can come to the organization.
So the dinner runs from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. tomorrow, and as she mentioned, open to anyone. Well, with Christmas, there are a few city closures to make note of. So City Hall, Lethbridge 311, the Waste and Recycling Center, Galt Museum, Helen Schuler Nature Center, and Lethbridge Public Library. Those will all be closed tomorrow and Friday. There will be no transit service tomorrow as well, with holiday service levels resuming on Boxing Day. Access Ride that will also be closed, but there is a full list of hours that can be found on the city's website. Well, as Christmas celebrations begin, Lethbridge police are reminding you to do it safely. Throughout the holidays, officers will be conducting check stops as part of the service's annual Christmas campaign to catch impaired drivers. In Canada, police have the authority to request a breath test from any driver who is lawfully stopped. Officers will continue the campaign until the new year.
People like to celebrate their Christmas in different ways, and obviously alcohol is a part of it for some people. And we just want to make sure that everybody's safe on this season, that there's no tragedies for the festive time, Christmas time.
The LPS is reminding those celebrating to plan ahead, whether that is calling for a cab, a friend, or taking public transit. According to one major credit card company, Canadians are spending more this holiday season, especially in person. With just hours left in the holiday shopping window, new data from Visa Canada says that shoppers have returned to gift buying the old-fashioned way at malls and brick-and-mortar retail stores. Since November 1st, Visa says that 88% of this year's holiday payment volume was in physical stores, as compared to just 12% online. Data also revealed Canadians are spending 4.4% more this holiday season as compared to last year. All right, stay with us. Jody Hughes is next with the weather. Plus, flu cases in the province continue to rise. We'll have the latest data on this deadly season next.
Well, it has been a little bit of a chillier day and still sitting with those colder temperatures, -16. We'll sit in that range of the mid-minus teens overnight, but then start to warm up as we approach the morning. We are at risk of seeing some precipitation, including some freezing rain locally. We'll see that peak right around the moment we're approaching, well, when Santa's probably coming, but luckily he has good traction for that. As we look at Calgary, seeing a lesser chance, they'll see that precipitation a little earlier and Medicine Hat later. That's why Medicine Hat is under that freezing rain warning, that yellow level freezing rain warning. Look at these temperatures though, quite a difference from what we've had yesterday. For example, -16 here in Lethbridge and -12 in Medicine Hat. It's -20 in Calgary, and that's without that wind chill. We have have the yellow level freezing rain warning, as I mentioned, covering both the southern corner of southeastern Alberta, southwestern Saskatchewan. Yellow level snowfall warning for a good portion of central Alberta with 10 to 20 centimeters total. That's really negatively impacting travel conditions on the ground, not at the rooftop level. And then some yellow level yellow level cold warnings into the northernmost regions. +1 for high for tomorrow. So again, we're roller coastering. We have that precipitation that will be heading toward the mountains on the BC side of the Rockies, the windward side, and then crossing over quite quickly overnight, so that we have that risk of some very poor driving conditions, deteriorating conditions quite rapidly, I would imagine, in the overnight period. And then another wave coming in as we get ready for the weekend. -2 overnight in East Kootenay with a positive temperature for tomorrow in Crow's Nest Pass. -8 overnight, that precipitation possible, and then +1 for high tomorrow with an increasing chance of some precipitation, and then -12 overnight in Medicine Hat, and then -1 for high tomorrow. But again, that risk of freezing rain, and that's where that yellow level warning comes in. Our temperature, we're looking at +1 for tomorrow, coming off of today's daytime high, which was certainly not that. And then -5 for Boxing Day. We're going to see -16 on Saturday. And as I mentioned, the one thing we're not seeing in our forecasting is any sort of consistency. That polar vortex continuing to dominate and bring with it that unusually cold weather, but meeting up with that system that has a lot of moisture coming in from the south and the west. And so you end up with these situations where you can have your moisture as freezing rain underneath where you're going to see some snowfall. And for Friday, we could see as much as 2 to 4 centimeters of snow. Overnight values, again, we're looking at them in around the -20 mark for Friday and Saturday. And then we're going to see some overnight values for the start of next week, which are closer to our average high.
As we approach Christmas Day, the province continues to see high numbers of flu cases. The province recorded more than 2,700 lab-confirmed flu cases on the week of December 14th. That's the highest weekly total since at least the 2009-2010 flu season. 8 more people have died of the flu in Alberta. Another 23,000 people got flu shots over the past week. And the province does say that getting immunized is the best way to protect yourself. And enhanced masking is now in effect for 4 Edmonton hospitals, and that includes the Stollery Children's Hospital. So that means masking is required for all patients and visitors. Alberta Health Services says mandatory masking is based on several factors, and that includes the number, size, and the impact of the respiratory virus outbreaks. Well, the Milk River Emergency Department will be temporarily closed over the Christmas period. Alberta Health Services says due to an unexpected clinical personnel shortage, the ER will be closed until 7 p.m. on Friday. During the closure, nursing staff will remain on site to support long-term care residents. Anyone having a medical emergency is asked to call 911 or access emergency services in Raymond or in Lethbridge. A researcher at Lethbridge Polytechnic is hoping to provide better exercise and activity guidance for seniors with moderate dementia. A pilot study helped determine the optimal length of time to engage clients in therapeutic recreation. So that means activities aimed at improving physical, emotional, cognitive, and social well-being. Those are for older adults with moderate dementia, engagement between 30 and 38 minutes. That was optimal. Any longer than that, and a decline was noticeable.
I expected, just based on working with people with dementia in the past, that we would see more of an ebb and flow of participation, in that we would see more times where they withdraw and times that they were able to engage quite well. And what we actually found was more consistency in that they had at least moderate to high engagement most of the time in programming. And that continued from the start to the end of programming, or at least till the end, about that 35, 36 minute mark.
The findings have been published in the Therapeutic Recreational Journal. The federal government is planning to release a strategy on men's and boys' health in 2026. Advocates have been calling for such a strategy to address issues that prevent men from getting the care that they need. A report from the advocacy group Movember Institute of Men's Health and researchers at the University of British Columbia found that 75,000 men died prematurely in 2023, and many of the deaths were from preventable causes. The report also found that men are about 3 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Many are passing on the opportunity to drink liquor over the holidays with increasing interest in non-alcoholic options. Lauren Stallone reports.
With the new year right around the corner, Amber Wisniewski says more Canadians are choosing to swap cocktails for mocktails.
November and December leading up to the holidays are very busy, and then definitely see a surge in January where people are looking to cut back and just see what it's like to remove alcohol from their life for a month.
It's called Dry January, a rising trend where people choose to stop drinking alcohol for the month of January and embrace a more sober lifestyle.
Dry January certainly came of age because of the power of social media, and it's easy to assume that it probably would not have become as big, pervasive, or successful as it is without this technology.
For Wisniewski, the global phenomenon sparked a business idea, eventually leading her to open a non-alcoholic bottle shop.
I was looking for sophisticated non-alcoholic options for myself, and then I discovered a whole range available, but weren't easily accessible here in Canada, basically. So I started sourcing them, and now I'm importing and searching for new options all the time.
Wisniewski says as customers prepare for the month of January, she often sees about a third more in sales.
It starts to ramp up. People want options.
Technology analyst Carmi Levy says as the trend continues to grow, we can expect to see more businesses jump on the bandwagon.
That's how marketing operates, is there are trends that become very quickly evident in social media, and if you're a smart business, you leap on those opportunities and you go after those markets.
While Statistics Canada doesn't track Dry January specifically, the latest findings released in 2025 show younger adults aged 18 to 24 were more likely to reduce alcohol intake.
There's a subset of social media users who have chosen to use that technology for good, to consume less alcohol, encourage others to do so, to lead a more healthy lifestyle.
For some, it's a short-term challenge. For others, a longer-term shift. But Dry January is giving Canadians a chance to start the year with a different kind of reset. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Still ahead on CTV News at 5, a festive fun event is on the horizon. We'll tell you details of the Lethbridge Hurricanes Paint the Ice night after the break. The Lethbridge Hurricanes will open up the second half of the season on Saturday night against the Medicine Hat Tigers, and they're bringing back a fan-favorite experience. The Canes entered the game following a 3-2 overtime win back on December 16th. Following Saturday night's matchup, the Canes will host their annual Paint the Ice night, so fans will have the chance to go onto the ice and paint the surface. The paint, the brushes, markers, it is all provided. Puck drop is set for 6 o'clock. And Canada will take on Czechia in the preliminary round of the World Juniors on Boxing Day. Puck drops at 6:30 p.m. Minnesota. Team Canada has been knocked out of the World Juniors in the quarterfinals the last 2 years, which is well below the standard that the country expects. Canada won the tournament in 2022 and 23, and they got a silver in 2021. Still ahead on CTV News at 5, Santa is on his way. We'll check in with the team at NORAD to see how St. Nick is doing on his magical journey. A few Albertans could be waking up on Christmas morning a millionaire. The Lotto Corporation says 2 tickets purchased somewhere outside of Calgary and Edmonton both won the $1 million Max Millions prize. A third Albertan is sharing a Max Million prize with a ticket sold in Ontario, earning $500,000. So if you purchased a Lotto Max ticket, make sure you check it carefully. The winners will have 1 year to claim their prize. Every year, the iconic Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel transforms into a winter wonderland. But it's not just because of that new fallen snow that makes it look like the set of a Hallmark movie. Every year, the hotel brings in designer Corey Christopher to turn the building into a Christmas masterpiece. His team of about a dozen people spend weeks creating the massive displays, from mirrored trees to nature-themed archways with thousands of ornaments woven out throughout the halls. Christopher says the real magic isn't in the decorations themselves, but in the reactions from visitors who discover them.
There's a lot of ornaments, there's a lot of magic, there's an insane amount of ribbon and garlands, tons of trees, but it's really about making those moments special during the holiday season. And the castle lends itself to creating these little moments of magic that you can stumble across and experience. And sometimes it's a simple tree, or it's an entire forest, or it's a wow installation that hopefully you go, wow.
While the Christmas decorations at the Banff Springs Hotel start coming down on January 3rd. But it's Christmas Eve, and that can only mean one thing. Santa Claus and his trusty reindeer are on their way to Canada to bring Christmas cheer. And for the 70th year, the team at NORAD will be watching to make sure that he gets here safely. Eric Tashner reports.
Standing by. Santa Claus is coming to town tonight. The crew responsible for his Canadian escort is eagerly awaiting his arrival.
This is one of the most important missions that we do every single year.
Fully mission capable.
Anything that flies over North American airspace must be identified and receive clearance, even Santa himself. The crew, known as Voodoo Flight at 22 Wing Canadian Forces Base, is tasked with a delicate holiday mission to identify Santa, his sleigh, and hard-working reindeer when they fly over.
Because of that special technical relationship we have with Santa Claus, we're able to identify him as his sleigh does move outside of the normal bounds of physics and space-time.
Each day, the men and women of the Royal Canadian Air Force scan thousands of aircraft approaching from the east and west coast. When jolly old St. Nick is first spotted, the team jumps right into action. Using satellites and infrared sensors, the crew will identify that it is indeed him. CF-18 jets are then alerted. They'll take off and escort Santa safely while he delivers presents.
We use a system of a network of sensors, if you will, and the North Warning System is one of those systems that we use to first track and then identify every single object that enters North American airspace.
Tracking Santa out of North Bay has been the focal point for the country for over 40 years. For many of the crew members, they recall when they were young, anxiously scanning the website, waiting for his arrival.
It's very special to me because I used to watch it as a kid.
I have two nieces and a nephew as well, and they're all aware that I will be tracking Santa. They're very excited. They keep pestering me about it.
While he doesn't have an exact flight path, it's expected Santa will fly over the East Coast around 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, moving west. That means children should be in bed long before he arrives. And when he does, the team will be ready to welcome him.
It's important kids get to still experience that Christmas spirit.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. From the CTV News family to yours, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.